Hi guys! Welcome sa Cup of Teach, and today we are going to talk about constants, variables, and algebraic expressions. But before we jump into our lesson, magkaroon muna tayo ng little activity, okay, na medyo related doon sa ating topic. So I have here two tables. The first one is for fixed value and the second one is for without fixed value. So ang kailangan natin gawin is we have to put these words into the table kung saan sila belong. So ano-ano yung mga words na kailangan nating ilagay? The first one is days in a week. Second, numbers of babies born every day. The third is months in a year. The fourth, we have your heartbeat per minute. The fifth one, we have hours in a day. And last one, we have the COVID positive patients in PH every day or Philippines every day. Now, okay, so let's first start with number 1, days in a week. So, days in a week, how many days we have in a week? We have 7 days. Okay, and then next week, we still have 7 days. The next week after that, we still have 7 days. So, hindi nagbabago yung days in a week natin. So, therefore, we are going to place it doon sa merong fixed value kasi hindi naman siya nagbabago. Next, we have the numbers of babies born every day. Okay? So, sa araw na ito, hindi naman pareho yung bilang ng pinapanganak. Okay? Sa pinanganak kahapon, sa papanganak bukas, so hindi siya pare-pareho. And dahil hindi siya pare-pareho, magkakaiba siya, we will put this into without fixed value. Next, we have months in a year. Okay? So, in this year, 2021, there are 12 months. Okay? And then last year, 2020, meron pa rin tayong 12 months. Next year, sa 2022, 12 months pa rin. So, basically, pare-parehong 12 months. So, ilalagay natin siya doon sa may fixed value. Next, your heartbeat per minute. So, kapag relax ka, yung heartbeat mo mabagal. Kaya konti lang yung heartbeat mo per minute. Pero kapag ikaw ay kinakabahan, pagod, or galing lang sa kakatakbo, your heartbeat is mabilis. Therefore, mas marami kang heartbeat nun kada isang minuto. So, dahil hindi siya pare-pareho, ilalagay natin siya sa without fixed value. Next, we have hours in a day. So, today we have 24 hours. The next day we have 24 hours. Kahapon we still have we have also 24 hours. So, every day is 24 hours per day. Dahil hindi siya nagbabago, lalagay natin siya sa fixed value. And then lastly, we have COVID positive patients in the Philippines every day. So, if you are fond of watching news sa TV or nagbabasa kayo sa Facebook, so makikita ninyo na kada araw, nag-iiba-iba yung binabalita nila na COVID positive patients. So, hindi araw-araw pare-pareho yung bilang na nagpa-positive. So, ilalagay natin siya sa without fixed value. Okay? So, in this table or box, we have fixed value. Ibig sabihin, hindi sila nagbabago. Dito naman sa kabila, okay, so nagbabago sila every day or every minute. So, hindi siya permanent. Okay? So, pakitandaan yung dalawang yan dahil magagamit natin yan sa ating main topic. And then, let's jump into it. Pwede na. Okay, let's go. Okay. So, nasabi natin kanina sa title natin, we are going to talk about algebraic expression. Pero ano muna yung root word niya na algebra? So, algebra is the language of mathematics. So, tayong mga tao, we have several different languages. We have English, Filipino, Cebuano, and algebra, siya naman yung tinatawag nating language of math. Okay? And it is also defined as a branch of mathematics which generalizes the facts in arithmetic. Okay? So, again, sabi nga natin, language siya sa mathematics. So, sa spoken language, we are using letters. Okay? So, we use letters and punctuation marks like period and commas to create words, phrases, and sentences. So, ito, para mabuo tong text na to, okay? So, gumamit tayo ng mga letters from the alphabet. And we use punctuation marks to create this. Okay? So, para makabuo tayo ng thought. So, we are using alphabets and punctuation marks. Now, in mathematics, or sa algebra, we are using letters along with numbers and mathematical operators to create expressions and equations. So, instead of letters and punctuations, letters, numbers, and operators ang gamit natin sa algebra. Okay. Mas i-discuss pa natin yan. Now, again, si algebra, okay, ay binubuo ng tatlong elements. We have letters, numbers, and mathematical operations. Now, si letters, sa algebra, since this is math, si letters, they are representing any real number. So, they are not letters for writing, but they are letters for numbers. So, yung letters na yan, dahil hindi natin alam yung number na nandyan, so pwede nating palit-palitan. Okay? At dahil napapalitan siya at hindi mo alam kung anong number yun, you are, these letters are called the variables. Okay? Sa Tagalog ng variables ay nababago, napapalitan. So, kaya siya tinawag na variables. Okay? Now, we have the numbers. So, ang numbers naman sa algebra, syempre, they have fixed values. So, kapag sinabi mong 2, that is 2. Pag sinabi mong 5, that is 5. So, hindi na magbabago yan. And dahil meron siyang fixed values at hindi siya nagbabago, we are calling that the constants. So, ang ibig sabihin ng constant sa Tagalog ay permanente or hindi nagbabago. And then the third one, we have the mathematical operations. Those are the plus, minus, divide, and multiplication signs. Okay? So, pag pinagsama-sama natin itong tatlong to, makakabuo tayo ng tinatawag natin na algebraic expressions. So, may mga sinabi na naman akong term na bago. We are going to define that on the next slide. But first, let us define the most common term na binanggit ko kanina. So, we have constants and variables. So, constants is any symbol representing a fixed value. So, again, sabi nga kanina, pag constant, merong fixed value kasi nga hindi siya nagbabago. Now, bakit ang sabi dito ay symbols? Bakit hindi na lang sabihin numbers? Because there are also symbols na representing a number pero hindi siya nagbabago. For example, we have the pi. Okay? So, yung pi ay isang Greek letter and yung Greek letter na to is equal always, hindi nagbabago. Equal siya lagi kay 3.14. So, dahil hindi siya nagbabago ng value, this is also considered as constant. Along with numbers like 2, -5, okay, 1,000. So, lahat ng number, including pi, ay tinatawag natin na constant dahil hindi sila nagbabago ng value. Next is we have, syempre, the variables. Variables is any symbol representing possible values of a quantity. So, si variables ay symbol din, pero usually ginagamit natin is letters sa algebra. So, they are representing possible values. So, ibig sabihin, hindi natin sigurado. So, marami siyang posibleng values. Now, ano-ano ma'am yung mga letters na po pwede natin gamitin as variables? any letter of the alphabet from A to Z ay po pwede mong gamitin as variables. Okay? So, kaya kung papansin niyo yung mga nakaraan nating example, meron ng mga X and Y's. So, dahil sila ay tinatawag na variable. So, ibig sabihin, pwede natin silang palitan ng kahit na anong number. Next, we have term. So, a term is a constant. Okay? So, pwede siyang constant lang, or pwede din siyang variable lang, or pwede siyang combination of constants and variables that are multiplied together. So, ibig sabihin, si 2 ay pwedeng maging term. Si y ay pwede rin maging term. And si 2x or 2 times x, si 2x ay pwede ring term. Pwede rin maging term yung variables na minultiply mo. So, x times y or xy can also be considered as a term. Okay? Now, so they are all terms, and terms are separated by a plus or a minus sign. So, ibig sabihin, if you have 2x plus 3y plus xy minus 2, okay? So, this 2x is a term. This 3y is a term. This xy is also a term. At saka yung 2 dito is also a term. So, bakit sila naging term? Because they are separated by plus and minus sign. Ayan, yung minus, andito yung plus, andito yung plus. So, nakaseparate siya. So, this one is term, 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 and term. So, how many terms do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have 4 terms here. Next, what are the other terms na kailangan nating malaman? So, we need to know about the numerical coefficient. So, si numerical coefficient naman ay number factors ng isang algebraic term. So, for example, you have 2x plus 3. Okay? So, sabi, number factors ng isang algebraic term. So, kailangan, pag factors, may pinagmumultiply ka. On this first term, yung first term natin, which is 2x, may pinagmumultiply tayo. We have 2 and x, 2 times x. Okay? So, what is the numerical coefficient? So, yung number doon sa term na yan. So, ano ba yung number dyan sa term na yan? Ang number natin dito sa term na to ay 2. Okay? So, ito yung number natin dyan, 2. So, ang numerical coefficient natin is 2. How about 3 dito? Anong meron dito sa 3 na to? Ang sabi natin is factor. So, kailangan may pinagmumultiply tayo. But dito, yung 3, wala naman siyang kasama. So, wala tayong minumultiply sa kanya. So, therefore, hindi siya kasama as numerical coefficient. Siya ay isa lamang simpleng constant. Okay po? Next. We have the literal coefficient or the variable factors of a term. So, basically, kung si numerical coefficient yung number, si literal coefficient yung kasama niya. Now, if you have, for example, 2x squared plus 3. O, dinagdagan ko lang ng squared yung example natin kanina. Now, si 2x squared lang ang may factor dito kasi si 3 solo lang naman siya. So, hindi na ulit siya kasama. Now, ang sabi natin, yung kasama ni numerical coefficient. Ang numerical coefficient natin dito ay 2. Okay? Yan yung ating numerical coefficient. Now, ano yung kasama ni 2? So, ang kasama ni 2 ay si x squared. So, ito yung ating literal coefficient. So, x squared lang. So, sa 3, wala naman siyang variable na kasama. So, wala tayong literal coefficient. Lastly, we have, syempre, pag pinagsama-sama na natin yan lahat, the constant, the variable, the numerical coefficient, literal coefficient, yan yung tinatawag nating algebraic expression. So it is the combination of one or more constants and variables along with at least one mathematical operation. Okay po? Let's have the example para mas ma-internalize natin yung mga meanings ng mga salitang yan. Okay? So I have here so many examples, but let's go to the first one. So we have here the algebraic expression 3x squared plus 4y minus 7. Okay? And we have to give the answer for these. So ano-ano yung mga, ayan. So ano-ano yung mga sagot dyan. Yan yung gagawin natin. First, let us talk about the constants. So again, pag sinabi natin constants, sila yung mga numbers. So ano-ano ba yung mga numbers dito? We have 3, we have 4, and we have 7. But dahil minus to, okay, so we will get a negative 7. Bakit siya negative 7? Because if you do copy change or ko-cha-cha, we will have 4y plus, kasi you have to change the minus sign, and then you have to change the positive 7 to negative 7. Okay? So that is why negative 7 yung ating constant dito. So para hindi kayo malito, kapag may nakita kayong plus, that is positive for the constant. And kapag may nakita kayong minus, that is negative for the constant. Okay po? Now, bakit hindi kasama si 2? Number din naman si 2, mama. Hindi siya kasama because it is a exponent. Exponent siya, hindi siya constant. Okay? So, ang constant kasi ay fixed value. And the exponent doesn't tell the value. Okay? Ang sinasabi lang ni exponent, ilang beses mo siya i-multiply. Hindi niya sinasabi kung ilan yung value. Next, let's have the variables. So, ano-ano yung mga letters na nakikita natin sa ating algebraic expression? So, we have the x and we have y. Now, how about the constant term? So, ito yung constant lang na term. So, yung wala siyang kasamang variable. So, yung wala kasamang variable lang dito is yung minus 7 or the negative 7. Next, we have the numerical coefficient. So, sa numerical coefficient, yung meron lang kasama na variable. So, ito lang dalawa. So, ano yung numbers dyan? So, we have 3 and 4. Next, we have the literal coefficient. Again, yung meron lang variable ang kasama dyan. Now, ano yung kasama ni 3 at saka 4? Yung kasama ni 3 ay x squared. Ano yung kasama ni 4? Y. So, yun yung ating literal coefficient. And the number of terms, how many terms do we have? Okay, so we have 1, 2, and 3. So, we have 3 terms here. Okay, let's have another example. So, I have here a table. So, naka-table na siya. So, the first algebraic expression is 2x. So, what is our constant? So, again, a constant is the number, which is 2. The variable is the letter, which is x. Si constant term, yung term na walang kasamang variable. Since mag-isa lang naman si 2x, walang kasamang variable. So, none ang ating constant term. Next, we have 4x minus 7y plus 2. So, what are the constants or the numbers? We have 4. We have minus 7. So, automatic, that is negative 7. And then, positive 2. The variables are x and y. And then, the constant term, yung term na walang kasamang variable is 2. Now, for the third one, we have a squared b plus ab squared. So, may nakikita ba tayong constant dito? Okay? So, wala. None. How about the variables? What are the variables? We have a and b. That is our variables. Next is we have the constant term. So, wala tayong nakikitang constant dito, so wala tayong constant term. Next, we have 2mn over 5. Now, ito yung medyo confusing kasi akala ng mga students na ang constant dito is 2 and 5. But, the truth is magkasama yung dalawang yan. Kasi fraction sila eh. Dahil fraction sila, magkadikit yan. So, ang ating constant ay 2 over 5. Okay po? And how about the variables? So, ang variables natin ay m at n. And then, the constant term, mag-isa lang naman siyang term. So, our constant term is none. Next. Let us get the numerical and literal coefficients and number of terms of those algebraic expression. So, for the numerical coefficient of 2x, ano ba yung number dyan sa kanilang dalawa? Okay? 2. How about the literal coefficient? Anong kasama ni 2? X. Okay? Very good. And then the number of terms, since solo lang siya, mag-isa lang siya, the number of term is 1. Then we have 4x minus 7y plus 2. So, ang kailangan lang natin for the numerical coefficient, yung merong kasamang variable, which is itong dalawang to. So, what are the numerical coefficient? So, yung may kasamang variable, which is 4, and negative 7. Now, ano yung kasama ni 4 at negative 7 para ilagay natin sa literal coefficient? Ang kasama ni 4 ay x. Ang kasama ni negative 7 ay y. Now, how many terms do we have? So, we have 1, 2, and 3. So, we have 3 terms. Next. We have a squared b plus ab squared. Now, wala tayong constant dito. Question, meron ba tayong numerical coefficient? The answer is meron. So, nasan yung numerical coefficient? Kapag ikaw ay mayroong variable only sa iyong algebraic expression, automatic, there is always a numerical coefficient of 1. That is just invisible. Okay? So, hindi lang nilalagay. Naglalagay lang tayo ng numerical coefficient if, na nakikita if it is 2 pataas or negative 1 pababa. Okay? Pero pag 1, hindi na natin siya nilalagay. So, there is an invisible numerical coefficient of 1. So, yun yung ating numerical coefficient. Now, what are the literal coefficient? So, meron tayong dalawang numerical coefficient na 1. Ano yung kasama ng unang 1? A squared b. Ano yung kasama ng pangalawang 1? A b squared. So, yun yung ating literal coefficient. Okay? And how many terms do we have? So, we have 1 and 2. So, we have 2 terms. Okay? And then, lastly, we have 2mn over 5. Okay? So, what is our numerical coefficient? Again, si 2 over 5 is iisa lang. Okay? Because they are fraction. Therefore, ang ating numerical coefficient is 2 over 5 or 2/5. Now, how about the literal coefficient? Ano ba ang kasama ni 2 over 5? So, ang kasama ni 2 over 5 is mn. And then, how many terms ang nandito? So, there is only 1 term. Okay? So, meron lang tayong 1 term. Therefore, ang number of terms natin ay 1. Thank you for watching. That's it for this video. If you learned something here, don't forget to like and subscribe to Cup of Teach. See you on the next lesson. Bye!